The sole purpose of this video is to provide a basic overview and orientation of your new apparatus. This video is not intended to act as or replace individualized driver-operator training. Individual fire departments may base guidelines, policies, and procedures tailored for best practices. Pierce Manufacturing and Hughes Fire Equipment representatives are not liable for injuries caused from acts resulting from actions inconsistent with the information provided within this video and/or accompanying manuals. Refer to the Operation and Maintenance Manual for complete details relating to the components and features of this apparatus. Only trained personnel should operate this vehicle or perform maintenance. You are responsible for learning how to operate this fire apparatus under all conditions without having to refer to the manual while operating at an emergency incident. This video will discuss types of warnings and caution labels. It is your responsibility to locate and identify each of the labels and understand the importance and associated hazards. Warning labels will point out procedure that must be taken or action that must be avoided to guard against the possibility of serious injury or death. Caution labels will advise you that there is a risk of damage to property if certain precautions are not followed. Continuous training, reviewing of operation and service manuals, developing good standardized practices will assist driver operators with a more complete understanding of the components and operation of this fire apparatus. As the driver operator of this vehicle, you are responsible for understanding the function of each component of the apparatus, maintaining control of the fire apparatus at all times while in operation. Make operational and functional changes while operating at an emergency without having to read operator's instructions or safety warning labels. Operate manual override and emergency shutdown procedures immediately if a component fails to operate properly. Components location may vary with each Pierce fire apparatus. Review the exact location of each component prior to operation. Major inconsistencies between your vehicle and the information contained in this video should be directed to your sales representative. Safe operation of any vehicle is the responsibility of the driver operator. You must learn the location and function of all controls, switches, gauges, valves, inlets, and discharges. Due to a higher center of gravity, heavy trucks have a significantly higher rollover tendency than other types of vehicles. To reduce the risk of rollover, avoid making sharp turns, excessive speed, and avoid abrupt maneuvers. In the event of a rollover crash, an unbelted person is significantly more likely to become injured or die than a person wearing a seatbelt. In the event of a crash, unbuckled occupants can also become a hazard to other occupants, as they may be thrown around inside the cab. Seatbelts are required while in operation. Please refer to your warranty certificates for details and information enclosed in your manuals. Customer-installed equipment must be mounted to withstand road travel and comply with NFPA 1901. Modifications such as drilling holes or welding to structural frame components of the chassis are not permitted. Contact Pierce for instruction and review of non-structural sheet metal or other dissimilar metals for modification. Follow the radio installation guide for further assistance on installing or mounting electronics. Before placing your new apparatus into service, perform a primary inspection of key components of the apparatus, including all fluid levels, anti-lock braking systems, electronic stability control, and automatic traction control. Weigh your apparatus to ensure that it conforms to axle and brake ratings. Never exceed the gross axle rating printed on the label inside the cab. Exceeding these ratings could lead to reduced component life, personal injury, or death. Review the use of auxiliary braking systems, compression brake, exhaust brake, electronic retarder, and hydraulic retarder. Before placing the apparatus in service, refer to the operational maintenance manuals. Information on the operation and maintenance functions for the components such as the pump, pressure governor, and foam systems, along with other options, is provided in either the Pierce manuals and/or other manufacturer support information delivered with the apparatus. If you need more information, please contact Hughes Fire Equipment. Congratulations, City of Yuma, Arizona, on your new fire apparatus, job number 32719. Please utilize this 5-digit job number when referencing your vehicle with Hughes Fire Equipment and Pierce Manufacturing. Let's get started on a brief orientation of your new apparatus. Starting at the front bumper on the outside edge, you're going to find dual air horns. Moving just inward of that location, you'll find your PA speaker and electronic siren. Moving to the bumper extension area, you'll find on the passenger and driver side a side-facing emergency warning light. Moving up onto the top of the bumper, you'll find 2 closed tubbed storage locations. Located in the center, you'll find a tubbed storage location for your front bumper load. Moving up onto the body on the side, on the passenger and driver side, you'll find a marker light. Just inside of that, you'll find your turn indicator and then your headlight structure, composing of the high and low beam. Above that, you'll find emergency warning lights. Further up onto the top, near the windshield area, you'll find 2 grab handles, one on the passenger and driver side. Moving to the mirrors, you'll find a combination of a flat and convex portion in the mirror. Moving up to the brow of the apparatus, you'll find 5 running lights. All the way to the roof area is where you'll find your emergency warning light bar. Let's move to the side to the doors. You're going to find pull-style latches that are keyed. Moving further down, at all points of entry for firefighters, you'll have additional handrails for ease and effort of getting in and out of the cab. Down at the lower section, you do have additional perimeter lighting. Here are some close-ups of those items that we just talked about. These are the tub storage locations on the passenger side. Moving now to the driver's side. As we move to the center, you'll find a tubbed storage location. It does have an 1.5 inch swivel discharge. Moving to the headlight structure is where you'll find the low and high beam. The inter beam is going to be the high beam and the outside edge will be the low beam. Moving up to the light bar, in the very center of the light bar, you'll find your forward-facing opticom. Here's an image of the City of Yuma Fire Department logo. Let's move around now to the side of the vehicle. Just behind the rear doors, you'll find an additional storage location. And now let's move to the midsection. Let's go ahead and cover this area first with some warning indications. These are warning labels here regarding fall protection and not to ride on the side of the vehicle. Moving to the right, you'll find a pressurized cap warning label regarding the removal of pressurized caps is hazardous. Down to the bottom area, you're going to find additional instructions here regarding your warm water rinse. As we move to the top, you'll find a 2.5 inch discharge. Moving further to the right, you'll find a 2.5 inch strainer. Moving further to the right, you're going to find your cab lift. There are instructions on the cab lift. We'll talk about that in a moment. And as we move further down to the left, you'll find all of your switches here regarding the warm water supply system. Located in the center behind the Pierce logo American flag eagle is your large diameter discharge. Moving further to the right, you'll find an electronic valve, which is a 2.5 inch discharge. Moving further down, you have a large diameter discharge. It is also electronic valve, and the overrides are located just to the left. Moving down to the left, this is going to be your warm water system. These are the inlet and also the outlet for that system. To the right, you're going to find all your associated drains color-coded and labeled. The step does have the ability to fold out. There is a release mechanism where the arrow is pointing. Let's take a look now at the warm water system. First on the left, you have a red indicator for low water level. Moving to the right, you have a 120 volt heater. Further to the right, you'll have a 12 volt heater probe. And then on the far right, you'll have your water rinse pump. Let's go ahead and look down just a little bit further. This is the warm water rinse inlet. And then to the right, you're going to find the warm water rinse outlet. And then moving further to the right, you'll find your water strainer drain. Let's go ahead and identify a few more items here on the right side. Once again, the water strainer drain that's directly above this, which is the 2.5 inch strainer.
Moving further down, you'll find the green override, which is indicated for your large diameter discharge because of the electronic valve. And then once again across the bottom, you can identify via the text and also color all of your associated drains. Just a quick look at the right-hand side of the panel. Let's go ahead and cover some of the items here with the cab lift. The red is going to be the lower and raise indicator. Moving to the left, you do have an activate, and then further to the right, you'll find the remote plug-in location. There is some caution and also some danger labels here. Please see the owner's manual prior to operation. Let's move further down. This is the midsection area where you'll find your crosslays. The two indications here are for the release mechanisms to allow those speed loads to be removed. You'll also find an entanglement warning hazard located in this area because of those hoses coming off at an elevated position. On the left, you're going to find your air compressor for maintaining brake pressure. To the right, you'll find your battery maintaining device. And then further down, you're going to find all of your associated breakers. We'll cover those individually. First, this is your S1, which stands for shore power. This is the main breaker for that. Moving to the right, you'll find your G1, which stands for generator. All the associated switches are down in the lower section. This is a continuous power rating supply, and there's some information on your generator. Once again, close up here of the S1. This controls the AC unit inside the cab. This is the G1, and you can see all the associated individual breakers for this. Moving further to the right, you'll find the frequency amps for line 1 and 2, and also your AC volts. As we look to the right, just a couple identifying things. You'll find a push button. This is the cord reel rewind. It is a 150-foot cord reel, and it is a 20 amp outlet. Close-ups here of the air compressor system. When plugged into shore power, it will activate. Moving down to the base area, you're going to find your rear inlet and your manifold drain valves. Moving down just in front of the rear wheel, you'll find bottle storage locations with strap retainers. And now moving to the rear section, you'll find additional bottle storage and also retaining straps. You also have a 120 VAC 20 amp outlet located on the passenger and driver side just to the rear of the wheels. We're now at the midsection of your apparatus, just over the rear wheels. As we move to the rear of the apparatus, you're going to find the rear air bleed for your rear inlet. General view here of the side of the apparatus, including the back. Let's take a quick look at some of the items within the back of the apparatus. Let's start on the left-hand side and the very bottom. You're going to find perimeter lighting located on the right and left side, and you're also going to find a tow hitch attachment point. Moving up from that location onto the left and right, you're going to find your cluster, which houses the brake, turn, and reverse. You'll also find a combination emergency scene light. And then just inside of that location, you'll find an additional outlet. These are the 120 VAC 20 amp outlets. Moving up from this location, we're going to find emergency warning lights rear facing. Moving downward, we're going to find that 2.5-inch discharge. Located in the center, you're going to find your backup camera. Just above the backup camera, you're going to find your traffic advisor. Let's go ahead and now move to the far side. This will be the right side, which is going to be the passenger side. Large diameter pump intake. There are some pan doors here. This is the location for your 24-foot and 14-foot extension ladders. Up from that location, you'll find two additional pan doors. These are for long tools and also folding ladders. You do have sufficient grab handles for gaining aloft on the vehicle, and you also have a fold-down step in the upper left-hand corner, and also a fold-out ladder which will extend. Let's take a look at the side of the apparatus. You'll find side-facing emergency lights. As we move just inside of those locations, you'll find on the passenger and driver side your side-facing scene lights. Moving down to the very bottom area, in front of and to the rear of the rear wheel, you'll find your wheel chock storage location. These are some close-ups. Once again, the 120 VAC 20 amp outlet. You're also looking at that on the passenger and also the driver's side. Let's take a look up from this location. A couple of warning labels here. I would like to point out this is an entanglement hazard. This is for warning of those hoses coming off above you. There could be an entanglement. As we move further down, you'll find a fall hazard and not to ride on the side of the vehicle, and then also a pressurized warning regarding pressurized caps and the associated hazards with those caps. Down now to the compartment roll-up door, LED lighting, and also an adjustable shelf in the rear compartment. Moving up once again, this is going to be your large diameter inlet. This is the rear inlet. Moving up to the right, you're going to find your rear scene lights and also your hose bed lights. Moving now to the pan door, you're going to find a 24-foot and a 14-foot roof ladder. Moving up to the smaller compartments, you're going to find two 8-foot pike poles, a 6-foot, and also a 12-foot pike pole. Now to the opposite side, you'll find a 6-foot D-handled pike pole and also a 10-foot folding ladder. As we move to the top of the ladder area, you'll find an additional folding step and also a D-handled pan door. Behind that door, you'll find an extension ladder and then also the location for your drafting tubes. Moving up to the dunnage, you're going to find on the left side your hydraulic generator. Moving to the right, this is your warm water rinse reservoir. And then moving right and left, you'll see two LED lights. These are pole lights. Moving directly into the center, you'll find your master stream device. Moving just next to the pole light, you're going to find your hydraulic reservoir. This is going to be for your husky system. And then of course your exhaust. Be cautious, extremely hot temperatures, and this may be hot. You do have two LED work lights in the dunnage area, in addition with your access for top fill for your foam system. This is the A tank, and then to the right you'll find your water tank top fill location. Your vehicle is also equipped for firefighter safety. You'll see the yellow reflective diamonds around the edge. This is an indication in the evening hours that will illuminate for firefighter safety, indicating the edge of the vehicle. This is the sight gauge for your Harrison generator. And there's also a top fill location for additional hydraulic fluid. On the side of the vehicle, this is the passenger side, you're going to find your warm water rinse tank. This is your master stream device with the electronic control screen. You'll find on the left oscillate and park, up, down, monitor, and also controls for left and right. This is the hydraulic oil with a sight gauge down in the lower right corner. As we look to the passenger side of the vehicle, you'll find that extension cord reel. This goes down into the lower compartment. On the top of the body, you'll also find additional storage locations on the passenger and also on the driver's side. Let's move to the front section of the cab. The vehicle cab is painted surface, so it does not withstand to walking on. That's what these warning labels are for. Located in the center in the cab, you'll find your 110 AC unit. Moving to the forward location, you'll find your 12-volt unit. Just a quick picture from the front looking toward the rear of the apparatus in the closed hose bed. We're now to the driver's side rear compartment. You'll find LED lighting. Once again, there's also an adjustable shelf that does have the ability to be pulled out, and the operation mechanism is on the right. This is your diesel fuel. This is going to be the green cap. Once the door is moved downward from your ultra low sulfur diesel, you'll find access to the DEF 4.5 US gallon tank. That is going to be a blue cap. Moving just forward of the rear wheel, just above the marker light, you're going to find additional bottle storage location with a retaining strap. We're now looking at the center compartment over the rear wheel. Let's go ahead and move now to the pump panel compartment. You will find you have an adjustable shelf on the right hand side of this image, and in the lower section you have a 2 toolbox pull-out drawers. Those drawers do actively pull out. The release mechanism is at the very top, the aluminum angle. Let's go to the pump panel itself. If your pump is properly engaged, you will find this light illuminating. Let's move to the left. On the engine information, you have oil, water, volts, and fuel on each side, with the tachometer located in the center. You do have some additional red lights, which would be oil, stop engine, battery, and water temperature. And then you have some yellow indicators for check transmission, check engine, and also low fuel. Moving to the gray area, you'll find your master intake and master discharge Located just beneath those, you'll find the test gauge ports for vacuum and pressure. As you can see, they are currently plugged. Let's move to the right-hand side of this image, where we'll find your foam and water tank information. In the indication here, you find the PCM fault. It is a yellow indicator if illuminating, and there is also an audible alarm. The outer edge of the bezel can be adjusted. By adjusting the outer edge, we'll adjust the volume level. You do have your water and foam A tank indicators. We'll start on the left-hand side. First with your discharges. This is the front discharge, water and foam capable. We have the number 1, number 2, and number 3 crosslay, and all of these are water and foam capable. To the right, you'll find your fire pump primer. It is a push to prime. There are some instructions just beneath that you need to maintain at least 1,000 RPMs while priming. Let's move to the lower section here. This is your rear inlet on open and close switch. It is electronic. And then in the upper right hand corner, you'll find the number 4 passenger side discharge, which is also foam and water capable. Let's move now to the Pierce throttle pressure governor. The check engine light, if illuminating, will be yellow. Located in the center, you'll find a digital readout for the RPMs of the engine. And then moving to the right, if illuminated, it would be red. It is the stop engine indicator. There are diagnostic information here regarding your engine and all of its fluids. Moving further down, in the blue section, you'll find your water tank levels from empty, quarter, half, 3/4, and full. The red is going to be the silence button for the audible alarm. Moving down in the orange section, this is going to be the menu select switch. Moving further down, you'll find 2 options, either pressure control module or RPM control module. These are the 2 indicators for those 2 options. Located in the center, you'll find digital information regarding the menu. Moving further down into the blue area, you're going to find your control mode. That's for selecting either pressure or RPMs. You do have an indicator in the center for green, indicating that your throttle is ready to be engaged. And then to the right, you'll find a green preset button. Down at the very bottom, you'll find your throttle control with the ability to push in on the idle switch to go to the idle position. Let's go ahead and move to the left of this image. First, let's start with the recirculating line. This is a twist, not a pull. Moving further to the right, this is going to be your Husky foam system. It is the red module. And then moving further to the right, you're going to find your large diameter discharge on the top for your deluge. That is this wheel here. Moving further to the right, you're going to find your driver's rear discharge. It is not foam capable. And then we have a variety of different electronic valves. Let's start first with your number 2 passenger side discharge in orange. And then moving down, you'll find the large diameter passenger side discharge in green. And then the number 2 driver's side discharge in blue. Moving to the left, you'll find the number 1 discharge. It is in red. And then we move all the way to the left-hand side of the pump panel where you'll find your tank fill and tank to pump. Let's move down from this location. A couple of placards I'd like to talk about. First, we'll start on the lower left-hand side. This is your minimum operation maintenance schedule. We'll cover that in a moment. Just beneath that, you're going to find a warning placard regarding only trained personnel should operate this equipment and only after using the owner's manual. To the right, you'll find the primer drain and also the flush valve drain. And across the very bottom, you'll find all your associated drains color-coded and labeled. Back to the Pierce minimum operation maintenance schedule. In the center, you'll find your 150, 200, and 250 test pressures. On the left, you'll find the associated GPMs, and on the right, you'll find the RPMs. You do have a governed speed of 2100 RPMs. Moving further to the right behind the pan door, you're going to find this yellow handle. This is the foam handle. It in a horizontal position for operation. Move the handle vertical for fill operation. You'll also find the manual pump shift override. It is a protected switch with a yellow indicator if it has been activated. To the left-hand side of the pump panel, you'll find the driver's side scene lights, passenger side scene lights, driver's side floodlight, passenger side floodlight. The red switch is going to be your air horn, and then you have a spare which could be used for a future switch at later time. Also on the side, you're going to find your TFT monitoring operation station, which is exactly the same as the one on top of the monitor itself. We're now to the left-hand side of the vehicle, and you're going to find these warning labels regarding pressurized caps and the associated hazards while removing a pressurized cap. You'll also find a do not mix the different types of foam consistencies or brand, and then also a warning label regarding fall, do not ride on the side of the apparatus. Moving to the upper right, you're going to find your auxiliary foam operations, and then moving to the left, you're going to find your two 2.5-inch discharges. Both of these are electronic valves, and there are the 2 overrides associated with each of those valves. Moving to the center, the Pierce American Flag Eagle is your large diameter pump intake. And then moving down to the lower right corner, you're going to find your 2.5-inch auxiliary inlet. Once again, across the bottom, you'll find all your associated drains. They're color-coded and also labeled. This vehicle does have a flipped-out style step. This is the release mechanism on the left-hand side. Let's take a couple close-ups of those things we just talked about. This is the number 1 and number 3 driver's side discharges and also the overrides. And then all the way to the right, you'll find your large diameter pump intake and auxiliary inlet. Of course, across the bottom, associated drains. Let's now move to the body of the apparatus, where you'll find your crosslays. The 2 latches here are the release mechanisms to allow those speed loads to be removed. There also is a warning label here regarding entanglement and the associated hazards with those hoses coming above your head. Let's look to the rear of the apparatus now. There are 2 rear-facing seats and also 2 forward-facing seats. Located in between the 2 rear-facing seats is where you'll find your access point for your daily checks for oil and transmission access. Looking overhead, you'll find your headset system, in addition with your 110-volt air conditioning unit. And then in the very front section, you'll find your vehicle air conditioning unit. We move to the driver's side. You'll find at all points of entry on all doors these warning labels. In addition, with the use of seat belts, they are red in color for ease of identification. Let's go to the floorboard, where you'll find your air horn foot pedal. Moving about the right ankle area, you'll find the manufactured by Pierce for the city of Yuma. The date of manufacture, gross vehicle weight rating, including the 5-digit job number. You'll also find cold tire inflation, VIN number, and also all of your fluid capacities for the components and fluid types. Let's move about the left knee of the operator. We'll find the master battery switch on-off is in red. Moving also down, you'll find all of your diagnostic ports for engine, transmission, and ABS, and also your display and tech module. Moving down to the left, you'll find 3 switches, your regen inhibit, ABS diagnostic, and DPF regen, and then also an engine diagnostic indicator. Onto the dash, you're going to find your transmission, oil, DEF, and water on the left-hand side. In the center, you'll find your tachometer and speedometer. On the right, you'll find your volts, fuel, front and rear air, and then also diagnostic information displayed above and below the speedometer. Let's move to the left-hand side of the column. This is going to be your ignition switch. Moving up to the start switch and hazard lights. Located also, you'll find your EM switch, which stands for Emergency Master, headlights, and also your dim rocker switch for your panel lights. Let's move to the opposite side. This will be the right-hand side of the steering column, is where you're okay to engage the high idle switches and indicator. On the steering wheel, you also have ease controls, which is going to be for emergency lights, siren, and horns, and also windshield wiper control. Your vehicle is equipped with a supplemental restraint system airbag inside the steering column. On the right-hand side of the operator, you're going to find your pull to apply your system parking brake and push to release. Located just to the right of the driver, you'll find your Pierce Command Center. Tremendous amount of information here at your fingertips. Please see your owner's manual for more information. You also have your push-button Allison transmission pad. We'll go over these individual switches next. First, let's start with the right-hand side with your power windows. This is going to be the passenger side windows, driver side cab windows, and passenger side cab windows. You'll also find in red a siren brake. Moving down to the next set of switches, you'll find your engine brake and on-off switch. You also have a setting for low, medium, and high, mirror heat, stationary okay to pump while rolling, water pump, and foam system. This is your Allison transmission pad, just a close-up of that image. Moving to the right, you're going to find first your push to talk for your unit radio, and then also mirror controls for the flat and convex portion of your mirror. Just a quick generalized view looking overhead, push on and off red and white lights. Let's go ahead and move to the left-hand side where you'll find this placard, height 10 feet 7 inches, length 32 feet 2.5 inches, and a gross vehicle weight rating of 48,500 pounds. This is also the location you can find that 5-digit job number. Let's move just to the right of that, but before we do that, if you make any changes to your apparatus, please update this placard. To the right, you'll find your emergency master, roof light, front warning, and side warning. Just beneath that, you'll find the lower rear warning, upper rear warning, high beam flash, and your Opticom switch. Let's move just to the right to the next set of switches. You'll find your load manager, driver side scene, passenger side scene, rear scene, a future switch location, traffic advisor left, traffic advisor right, and your generator PTO switch. These are memory switches. Once pushed, they indicate green that they are on, and they are also programmable. Let's move to the right where you'll find a digital readout for your pump pressure. And then as we move further to the right of that, you're going to find the EQ2B. This is your siren from Federal. This is the PA system and also your electronic siren. Located in the center between the two operator and passenger, you'll find your seatbelt information. Red indicating someone is in the seat and not belted. Green indicating someone is in the seat and belted. Located in the center, you'll also find this red puck style light. If indicated, it will flash red, indicating that you have a compartment or door ajar and not to move your apparatus. Let's go ahead and move to the center console area. You'll find a set of switches here and also a candy caned warning sticker regarding spare wiring. Let's start in the upper left-hand corner. You have a driver's side and passenger side floodlights, and then also your electronic siren. These are also future switch locations if necessary. Beneath that, you'll find the heat defrost and also AC control unit. Moving now to the front of the vehicle, this is on the driver's side, you're going to find your air conditioning plug-in location. You'll also find the battery charger plug-in location. These are both 20 amp plugs. Let's move now to the passenger seat. Once again, a point of entry. You're going to have this on the doors for all of your warnings. This vehicle is equipped with a supplemental restraint system. There is an airbag located in this area. And because of that airbag, please do not mount anything within this area and see your owner's manual for mounting instructions. You're also going to find just to the rear of the seat the location for your Federal Q2B module. This is the location for your siren control module. Let's go ahead and move to the forward section again. This is the fill location for your windshield wiper. And then as we move to the very top section, you'll find your vehicle data recorder port and then also an LED spotlight. On the left-hand side, you're going to find a radio push-to-talk button. You'll also find your air horn button and also an Opticom button. And then once again in the very front, the vehicle data recorder. That's a diagnostic port. Let's go ahead and look overhead. This is going to be in the passenger area. Just a quick generalized view with a high intensity light for your map books. But let's start on the left-hand side first with your intercom control module. Moving to the right of this location, we're going to find a set of switches. You'll find driver side and passenger side scene lights and also a rear scene light. There are also future switch locations here if necessary. Let's move further to the right. This is the digital readout for your speedometer. Congratulations, City of Yuma, Arizona, on your new fire apparatus. If you have any questions as to the content of this video or any questions regarding your apparatus, please contact your Hughes Fire sales representative. Thank you and congratulations.